Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. My brother Joe is with me today. Right after we finish this, we're filming PL Piss Takes, so make sure you go and check that out over on Stretford Paddock. But right now, we are talking Jose Mourinho. He has been sacked. Ding dong. The witch is dead. He's gone. I don't mean to dance on someone's grave, but I told you so.
I mean, you don't need to. I don't think you need to worry about dancing on someone's grave. He's made 93 million quid in payouts since his time at Chelsea. So, you know, not that money is the only thing that matters. Obviously, he wants to be happy, he wants to be successful, but you can talk about it without feeling too bad, I think.
Yeah, 93 million pounds in payouts. 30 million pounds from this one alone in a payout. Now, contrary to fake news that everyone seems to be running around and believing.
Yeah.
You don't believe it, do you?
No, I didn't believe it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Why did Jose get sacked, Joe?
He got sacked because he refused to take his players out on the pitch because COVID made all the...
No!
Oh, what was it?
You've been reading Chico Azul.
Chico as well, I love it. I love that one journalist who no one's ever heard of comes out and goes, he refused to take his players on the training pitch and then sacked himself because of the European Super League. No, he didn't. If he ever wants a job again, he will not come out and speak against the European Super League.
Yes.
Because he's going to want a job back at Inter,
Yeah.
or he's going to want a job at Juve, or when Bayern eventually fold, he'll want to go there as well.
You don't close the door on some of the richest clubs in the world.
All of the richest clubs
that
in the
would
world.
have meant him walking away from his payout.
Yeah.
In their statement, Spurs said he was relieved of his duties with his backroom staff. Now, what's interesting about this is the timing of it all. I don't think anyone's shocked about him getting sacked.
No.
But the timing of it is crazy because they've got a League Cup final, coming up soon.
Isn't it this weekend?
This weekend. Now, do you think Daniel Levy was of the opinion that if I leave him to go to that League Cup final and the bastard wins it, I can never sack him?
No.
Or was it just something kicked off in training, in the dressing room? You know, Jose's had some words. Wonder what's gone down to make this happen now, because the timing is really, really weird, isn't it?
The timing is bizarre, and obviously they know what's going on. The world is blowing up with this European Super League news. It's almost like they're sort of trying to sneak it under the radar. Like they're going, right, everyone's talking about that. Let's just get rid of Jose.
Bury the news
Let's
under
get
that.
Ryan
It's like a
Mason.
government trick, isn't it?
Yeah, proper. Like, let's release the big news, or we'll give the newspapers these stories to run, and secretly we're just taking a bit more money from the NHS. Like that's kind of, it's like that. Like we'll make you look this way.
It's like
and do
Prince
this.
Andrew's a nonce. Let's hide that. Lockdown's going down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It's all
stuff like
all
that.
that kind of stuff. So they're kind of covering up their tracks with a bigger story. Obviously, it's not their story necessarily. Tottenham's, I know they're involved, but it's a bigger story than just Tottenham, the Super League stuff. But if we get rid of Jose now, no one will really talk about it in 2 weeks. Whereas otherwise, we are front page and back page of the newspaper, certainly in London and basically across the country, for the next week until that Carling Cup final. Whereas now, they'll struggle to make the fourth page from the back. Like, they've subdued it, haven't they?
I like to think of Daniel Levy this morning after he heard the Super League news. He was like, fucking hell, mate. 3.5 billion.
I know.
I've got money to piss out the wall. What's the first thing I should do? Let's sack Jose.
sack
Because
Jose.
money ain't no thing now, but a chicken wing too.
That's true, isn't it? How
It's
has he
no
managed
thing.
to do that? I know he's known as a good negotiator, but how the fuck has he got on the back of this European
Mate.
Super League shit?
We'll talk about in PL Piss Take
Yeah,
a little bit
of
more of
course.
the Super League stuff, but that stuff has baffled me. Another angle to this is Hansi Flick. I know Bayern Munich have come out and said we don't want this to happen, but Hansi Flick has come out and said he's resigning or retiring from Bayern Munich at the end of the season.
Generally considered to be taking the German national job, isn't he?
Yes, but you also hear Bayern Munich want Nagelsmann to replace him, and Tottenham have been linked with Nagelsmann.
Yeah.
Could it be a thing that Bayern Munich have sacked them, they're going in for the manager, and it was a case of they had to show
Maybe.
some sort of faith to the manager or
Yeah.
Nagelsmann to say, look, we're going to be in the Super League, Bayern Munich ain't. Because that's how these lot are going to be selling it, innit? Do you think, we'll talk about it in PL State about the Super League, but like players and managers are likely, do you think they'll like it, like be attracted to clubs in it? Or,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Because money.
yeah.
Like, it's not, no one's going to go out and say, this was Lewandowski's fault.
So does
or
that
this
make
was
Spurs a bigger team than
whoever's fault.
Bayern Munich now?
Short term, maybe, but
If
not
this
really.
happens.
Maybe. No, I don't think it does. But in terms of the money they make, it does. And then therefore give it 5 years' time, maybe. But I just think that people all like to have a moral high ground. We can all look up at the Glazers and all these people and rightfully so criticise them, slander them, everything. And they deserve it, and it's wrong what they're doing, etc. But when you look at the track record of people who are offered money and people who are offered big money, it takes a very strong person to turn it down. And that goes for managers, that goes for players, that goes for owners. It's, you know, it's easier said than done turning down that kind of money, which is disgusting to say, disgusting to think. And you all think when you're in that position, it'd be different. But if you're a manager,
football's a job for them as well.
Exactly. If you're a manager or a player, you want to play for the biggest club that can pay you the most money. And I don't think that changes just because the moral sort of, you know, disagreement that people have with the European Super League. They just want to go where they can go.
The timing of this sacking is really weird, but I've got to say it was always going to happen. He lost the dressing room a long time ago. It seemed he was clinging on to the likes of Kane and that. And I know Kane's done 31 goals this season. That's not because of Mourinho, really, is it? I mean, that's in spite of Mourinho. And do you think, or do you agree with those that say his squad wasn't good enough for him? Because I look at some of those players and think they're playing like you've fucked them, mate.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? Like, Jose Mourinho, when he came through at Porto, overachieved, proved himself to be a great manager, got a decently big job at Chelsea, but with the backing of Abramovich became a massive job because they now have the most money in the league. So he's done well there, he's got a bigger job. Then after that, he's gone to Inter Milan, one of the biggest clubs in the world, another good job, done very well there. Then he's got the Real Madrid job. He's consistently sort of moving up in the pecking order of European giants. Then he goes back to Chelsea, wins the league again, brilliant, comes to United, who a little bit of a fallen giant at that point, didn't really do what he wanted to do, left on bad terms again after leaving on bad terms over and over and over again. So now that's what you get. You get Tottenham. You don't get the team with the most money.
If you say Spurs, I got a gag for you. I say Spurs.
That's what you get. You get Spurs.
Now, you see what you've done there, Joey?
What?
Chelsea. Who's the other one? Inter. Real. Chelsea. United. Spurs. It's the Mourinho circus, mate.
Very nice.
Look at that.
That's good,
yeah. Circus, done it?
Yeah.
I did see it on Twitter. But let's pretend I didn't.
That's a shame, isn't
good
it?
That, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. But that's what you get. Like, you can complain about your squad. You can complain that you haven't got the best team in Europe. But the reason you don't have the best team in Europe is because you keep failing. You keep falling out with everyone. You keep cutting all ties. And then you go to Manchester United, you don't win the league, you don't do what people expect you to do, and you fall out with anyone. You're not going to get the Barcelona job or the City job or whoever job
Bayern
after
Munich.
that, the Bayern Munich job. You aren't going to get them. You fell to Spurs because of your track record. So you can't come out and complain that the squad isn't good enough. We know it's not good enough. That's why you're managing them.
And because of his track record, Mourinho, like, we had this thing with him where we'd never do it. Obviously, we did it eventually. So maybe that tells you all in itself. But it's like, you know those clubs that consider themselves to be, like, holier than thou and we're amazing and all that stuff. And look, it's because of their histories. They are. Ajax's, the Bayern Munich, the Barcelonas. Those kind of clubs always refrain from appointing Mourinho. Yeah. It's like he's got this stigma attached where if you're a proper club, you don't appoint him. And that's damaging him as well. But his his results, they're not speaking anymore. He didn't get a trophy. The Mourinho 3-year cycle thing happened a lot quicker this time. And you look at around, and when you see West Ham in the top 4, Leicester in the top 4, like, there's no excuses for you.
No.
There's no excuses. Everywhere he goes now, instead of dragging the expectations and the standards up, he drags them down.
Yeah.
And that's not what good managers do.
No. Because Jose, what he always did was, he was like up here. And if there was he would get clubs that were either on that level or just below it, and he'd bring them up to him. Bring Chelsea up to me. I've just won the Champions League with Porto. I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to win the league for the Premier League for the first time with Chelsea. I'm going to do it back-to-back seasons. I'm going to go to Inter. I'm going to bring you up to me. You're winning the fucking treble. I'm going to go to Real Madrid. Slightly different because there was the whole greatest team of all time playing, in Barcelona.
But he did.
But he won leagues with them. He won Copa del Rey's with them. He drags teams up to his level. He went back to Chelsea, dragged them back up to the Premier League when it looked like they were waning, falling apart. But he couldn't do that with United, and he couldn't do that with Tottenham.
And at the end of Chelsea.
And at the end of Chelsea, and now where does he go from here? Because honestly, the options are. You get a job like the Arsenal job, you get a job like the AC Milan job, where it's like, he couldn't do AC Milan because he's a club legend at Inter, although he did go Chelsea and then Tottenham.
It's like, you ain't getting Arsenal because you're at Spurs.
Where is he going to go? Dortmund maybe? Leipzig maybe?
I don't see Dortmund. Maybe with the philosophy they have and developing younger players.
You could see maybe Poch getting poached. Let's say PSG win the league, Poch gets poached by Real Madrid. Now there's a space at PSG. Maybe they'd still take him, but the other option is take another year out or retire. Like, what is he going to? He's on
International
this.
football, I think.
Maybe international football is another option, because I'm not saying he should retire, but he's got a hell of a long way to go to get anywhere near what his lustre was a few years ago. I don't know if he can do it.
This rate next season, Leicester, Everton, West Ham, and Leeds are going to be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Bielsa might leave Leeds. He might take over at Leeds, win the fucking Champions League again.
Yeah, win the Champions League. It's Leeds versus Club Bruges in the final.
Yeah.
Let's see who wins it.
I'll tell you what's going to happen now, though. You've already answered the question I had. What next for him? Like,
Yeah.
we genuinely can't say because it's so difficult. But I'll tell you what is next for him. What happens with Jose? It's a cycle. He's going to go away now, have a haircut.
Oh, maybe even a full shave.
Yep. Nice suit,
Yeah.
tan.
Yeah.
During the Euros, he'll be on TV.
Great point.
Bit of punditry.
Great point.
Bit of this, bit of that, bit of charm.
Yeah.
You know, worm his way back into our hearts. Some bastard will appoint him, and then it'll be old Jose's back.
Yeah.
He grows his hair out, starts wearing that gilet, looks angry. You know, no more swag, no more suave.
Gets the England job after Southgate gets sacked for getting round to
He'd
16.
do better than Southgate.
Do you know what? If there was ever going to be a club or a team that I'm interested in appointing Jose, obviously it's never going to be Man United again. I don't think England appointing him would be the worst thing. Jose Mourinho's style is to gather a group around him for a flurry of sort of excellence. It's like us against the world. We're all in this together. Fuck them. Fuck this. Fuck that. It's us. Jose would be, I think, a great international manager. You don't have to be around him all the time. Short time to be with him, and you just go for the tournament. He's great at winning trophies, regardless of what you think. He did get Tottenham to that League Cup final, which you won't even get to manage him in now. He's won 11 of 13 finals as a manager. I think he'd be a good international manager. And obviously, I'm sure in his eyes that will be him falling down the pecking order. And unfortunately for him, he has. But I don't think him being England manager would be the worst thing in the world.
£93 million in his pocket.
It's not the worst falling, is it? At least he's landed on a nice bed.
Spearmint Rhino for Jose
Yeah,
tonight. He's going to be all depressed and that, just making it rain. Making it rain.
Some more tears.
Unlucky Jose. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you to Joe for joining us. Make sure you go and check out Premier League Piss Take, which will be released tonight at 7 p.m. over on Stretford Paddock. See you in a bit.